Do you think Donald Trump is racist?
I do. I do.
You do?
And I'll tell you why.
Both however, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare, we're trying to provide housing for black Americans. The impact on the choice, the idea that they're going to, I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And wants to get away with, get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
It's tough to say that somebody is not racist when they're doing all the racist things. You know, sometimes I feel like we need to invent like a racism Richter scale. Because racism in America is such a loaded word. It feels like people are more afraid of being called racist than actually being racist.
Nobody wants to be called racist.
No, people go, don't call me racist. I might do these things, but you don't call me racist. If Donald Trump chooses an advisor who has a platform that specifically caters to a movement that is neo-Nazi and white supremacist, then what do you call that? People go, I don't say the N-word, and I don't hang anybody, so I can't be racist. And I go, well, there's levels.
Noah's uniquely suited to talk about racism, growing up biracial in apartheid South Africa. He was forced to navigate the dangerous worlds between black and white, but he says he learned that communicating with those of the opposite view is crucial to success.
I don't exist in a world where I only listen to the people I agree with, because then how will I ever know how to dismantle or think about your argument in a different way? Tommy Lahren.
Which is precisely why Noah invited conservative internet sensation Tommy Lahren on the show for an interview that went viral.
Do you really believe you're criticizing and you're not malintentioned when you say things like Black Lives Matter is the new KKK? Because you realize Black Lives Matter can't be the new KKK. The KKK is still around.
Some people were asking, why would you invite her on the show?
Because we invite everyone who's in the political sphere on the show. It's like, I don't agree with you on things. And I would like to challenge you, and I would like for you to challenge me.
Noah knows all about challenges, which he explores in his painfully honest new book, Born a Crime.
Different races being together was a crime, an official crime. There was an immorality act in the country.
Let alone sleeping together.
Exactly, that forbade that, and you could spend years in jail. And luckily, my parents were never caught, but my mom was caught for minor infractions regarding, relating to race, and she would spend time in jail, whether it be a week or a few weeks. Oftentimes, she'd have to pay a month's salary to get out.
His journey has led him here to one of the most coveted jobs in comedy.
Knowing where you've come from, such difficult times, do you sit here sometimes and go, wow?
Every day. Sometimes you get caught up in, hashtag first world problems. You're in a world where people convince you of problems that aren't real. Every single night I sit at the desk, every single night I talk to the audience. I appreciate every single inch of this place.
Each day begins just after 9 a.m. in the Daily Show morning writers meeting.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Nice thoughts.
The staff presenting pitches for that night's show.
I found one Facebook Live show where it's called The Wheel of Fugitives.
Yes.
And the cops spin the wheel and it lands on somebody's mugshot.
Wait, the police are doing this?
Yeah, the police are doing
Wow. No, man.
This idea culminates into a hilarious segment, later delivered by correspondent Hassan Minhaj.
Yes, this is so much fun!
No, Hassan, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, we've got to take law enforcement seriously.
Dude, loosen up. Tell me you weren't happy when the wheel didn't land on the black guy.
And when you go out there, still, I mean, it's been more than a year now.
Yes.
Does it still feel exciting, scary? What?
You never know. It's a different audience every day. It's different jokes every day. So there's always a possibility that anything could happen.
This newfound fame, a stark contrast from Noah's tough childhood.
So when you're writing a book, is it painful to go back over all of that, or is it cathartic?
I think it's a combination of both. I think through the pain comes the catharsis. You know, writing stories about growing up in a home where we sometimes didn't have food is painful. You know, remembering stories of growing up in a home of domestic abuse, painful stories.
One of the more painful ones involving his abusive stepfather and the terrifying day he shot Noah's mother, Patricia, in the head.
Did you think you were going to lose her?
I did. My mother was shot not just in the torso, but in the head. And I mean, a head shot is a head shot. You don't think a person's recovering. And miraculously, she came out on the other side with no permanent damage. It's something that my family has lived through, and now we laugh about, and that's who we are as a family.
Is that where your comic chops came from? Laughing at the pain?
I think so, yeah. Laughter is an escape. I feel like laughter reminds you of your best self, your favorite self, your freest self.
He turned that laughter into a career, becoming one of the most successful comics in South Africa.
So Oprah flew down on her jet and she built the school. $50 million she spent. She was like, "You're not gonna spank these kids, are you?" And the headmaster was like, "No, never. We beat them. But because it's Oprah school, everybody's getting one. You're getting a beating, you're getting a beating."
John is the crazy person who plucked me from obscurity. He's the guy who saw me and said he should come. That struck me when I came to the US was how there was a lack of acknowledgement. There are many Americans who still live in a world where they don't even acknowledge the fact that African Americans are operating from a place of deep oppression. And if there is no system where we are working to reform people or trying to have a discussion, then that racism is not going to go anywhere.
Earlier tonight at the White House, President Obama echoing the need for Americans to come together.
I think it's important to give the incoming administration the space and to give the public clarity about what it is that they're trying to do.
An improbable moment for that biracial boy born a crime all those years ago, seated across from the U.S. president.
Trevor Noah said it so much. Sometimes people do things and they want to be called racist, right? It's like somebody doing something that is act of selfishness. But if you call the person like, "Hey man, you're acting selfish," like, no, don't call me and tell me that I'm acting selfish. Like, I am not selfish. So it is really funny sometimes how we do things, but we don't want to be called racist. Like, you watch the video, right? Somebody might say, "Hey, that video is racist because why is Trump taking a short clip, the Trump's team taking a short clip of Biden fumbling and posting it online and using it to run our campaigns for these elections?" Other person might say, "Hey, that is just politics, you know. It's the one Americans who genuinely vote for the upcoming president. Know that whoever they're voting for has this or that flaws. You know, let's cancel that out. Just think that is politics." But there are a lot of things that the president has done when he first became president. If you look at it, when Trump became president, he put a ban on, was it 8 Muslim countries? Then when he visited Saudi Arabia, he came back. His mindset about Muslims changed. I don't know if you noticed that. I feel that the environment that you grew up in, your friends, your family, play a lot of factors to shape your mindset about other races and other ethnicities of people. But when you start branching out, interacting with those races, of people or ethnicities of people, and maybe visiting their country, your perspective, the way you see such people, greatly change. To be honest, when Trump was became president at first, he wasn't. When Trump first became president, he wasn't that more verse of Muslims, you know. But when he traveled to Saudi Arabia and came back, and they signed that that was it $3 billion or $35 billion arms deals. Trump's mindset clearly changed about Muslims. He slowly removed all those bans, which makes me feel that some people go in an environment or in a circle that they are prone to become racist, but once they start interacting and once they remove themselves from that stereotype box or that stereotype mindset of how they see people, then they slowly become then they slowly become less racist, you know. And somebody might say there is nothing as less racist. There is. There are people that are kind, there are people that are more kind. People that are selfish, there are people that are racist, there are people that are way more racist. There is no racist person. It is it is difficult to find a racist person who is in the extreme. It is difficult, especially nowadays, because internet, social media, society has really enlightened people who were living in that stereotype mindset, had that prejudice mindset. Social media has really greatly enlightened them. So they are slowly becoming less and less racist. It's like civilization and education, you know, and mindset change. People slowly change their mindset about a lot of things. The Trump did things that were racist for real. Put a ban on Muslim countries because of a stereotype mindset about Muslims. That was racist. They slowly uplifted that. Saying all Hispanic people or people from South America are rapists. No, not true. Doesn't mean one person does that. It shouldn't mean that everybody in that community is bad. Saying Africans are from SO continent. Was that not racist? That was racist. You know, but is it something that he can do again? That will do again? No, because he has grown out of it. People slowly grow out of racism and slowly become better. And slowly become better. Was Trump racist? Look, let's even look at this though. When Trump became president on January, when did he become president? He became president in November and he took office when I think January the 10th or January the 11th, like that. Compare Trump January 11 and Trump November, October 20. Was it October 2020? How was Trump back then? Trump January the 10th, 2017 was more racist than Trump um, October the 10th, 2020. As he traveled, he gets to interact with different leaders, get to interact with people with different accents. He knows that, hey, man, I was just having a wrong perspective and wrong mindset about these people. They're really not, that they are not who I truly thought they are, you know. And that is it. People improve themselves. Nobody's stagnant with the same mindset unless they don't want to change their mindset. So you can grow out of racism, same as you can grow into racism and become a pro racist or a top racist. So it's pretty normal.